Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, it's springtime and we're right into that busy time of year where people are getting out into their yards, doing lots of yard work and maintenance. And one thing that's really overlooked or maybe not thought about as being too important is mowing. But mowing your turf grass in the correct way is really critical to have a nice, healthy lawn. One thing that is very important, and I'll talk about a couple different tips to mow correctly, but one thing that you really want to think about is maintenance of your mower. Make sure you try to sharpen those mower blades, have them nice and sharp before you go out and mow. Now I know it's difficult, at least in my life, it's difficult to get that done on a regular basis. The recommendation is to sharpen those blades every 10 hours of mower use. However, you know, if you can at least get that done once a season, usually before you start doing some heavy mowing, that would be great. The reason why it's so critical to have sharp mower blades is that you want that grass blade to be cut cleanly and smoothly through. If your mower blades are a little bit dull, what ends up happening is you end up shredding the leaf blades, and not only is this cause for some stress on that turf grass plant, but it'll give your lawn an overall kind of a whitish tan cast because all you see are those shredded leaf blades, and it's hard for that leaf blade to recover from that wound, and so you just have this ragged, jagged edge. Sharp mower blades, pretty important. The other thing to consider when you're mowing is how often do you want to mow? You know, again, busy life schedules and rain and weather events sometimes make it difficult to get out and mow when we actually need to, but you really want to take into consideration what type of turf grass you have and then mow according to the recommendations for that turf grass. So here we're standing amongst some tall fescue. Tall fescue needs to be mowed at around 2.5 to 3.5 inches. Something like buffalo grass, anywhere from 2 to 3.5 inches. Bermuda grass can tolerate a little bit shorter, 1.5 to 2 inches. And bluegrass also 2 to 3 inches. So actually a lot of times when mowing, taller is better. You'll have less weeds that way. Sunlight won't be able to penetrate to the soil as easily if you have some thinner spots, and that's when you end up with some crabgrass and other weed issues. So you want to make sure and mow according to what type of turf grass you have. Now one of the biggest important things, I guess you could say, is mowing height, but also mowing frequency. You want to make sure that you do not remove any more than 1/3 of that grass blade at a time. This just helps reduce stress on that turf grass once again. And so if you want your grass to be 3 inches tall when you're done mowing, you need to mow when it's about 4.5 inches, or I should say you shouldn't mow beyond that. You want to make sure that that grass isn't any taller than 4.5 inches when you go out to mow. Now I just mowed my own yard last night. It was the first time I'd mowed my buffalo grass, and honestly it was a little taller than that. And sometimes that happens because it rains and the weather and our schedules just don't let us do that. But if that's the case, make sure you mow it high. Try to take no more than 1/3 of that grass blade at a time. Go a little while in between mowings and then go back and mow a little more off. It just is a less stressful event that way for that turf grass. Once again, mowing, often thought of as just one of those chores we have to do on Saturdays, but really it's best to consider, you know, sharp blades. Make sure you have the right height for your type of turf grass, and make sure you're mowing at a frequency that's related to that growth rate of the grass, not just out every Saturday because that's what you do on Saturdays, you know. So make sure you're taking the growth rate of the grass into consideration. The health of the turf grass really does depend on proper cultural practices, which includes mowing for sure. So if you have questions, we have some really nice publications about mowing your lawn. Like I said, might seem like a simple thing, but really there is a little bit of science to it. And so we have this newly updated publication called Mowing Your Lawn, and you can contact your local extension office if you have more questions. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.